Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and welcome to another Power and Revolution Geopolitical Simulator 4 playthrough. So today we're going to do a few things. Today's more of just a feedback. There are a couple things about the game that I have to admit I don't quite understand. And I think that's because of the feedback that you're given in the game doesn't quite make sense to me. Whenever I try to, what I'm assuming is save money, the number's in red. Whenever I try to do anything, the number is in red. And I never can figure it out. So for example, if I look at taxation here, and I see Social Security payments. Well, 38,363. I don't know what this number is. I'm assuming this is how many millions? Yeah, so I'm making 708 million in tax revenue. Cool and all. When I click this, you'll notice it just says budget economy in millions, and it's in red, but I'm increasing. So to me, that's like, okay, well, hold on. If I cancel that, if I reduced it, then it's in red as well. So I don't know whether it's one of these things where I would prefer to see an overall how can I put this feedback on what I'm doing properly, like tobacco tax. If I click this and I say I want to do a 3% tax on tobacco, well, here it's saying, okay, well, budget economy in millions, 22.43. It's in red. Red tells me it's going to cost me $22.43 million for a 3% tax on a pack of cigarettes. To me, that doesn't quite make sense. Like, okay, there should be some form of feedback to me. Like, it should say, okay, cool. So you earn, if this was in red, it would say budget economy in millions, 22.43. Or have that in black and say increased in budget economy in millions, 22.43. Or impact to economy in millions. And then have it in red with a minus sign, minus 22.43. So that way I'm knowing whether I'm losing money or gaining money. For a new player in the game, I honestly don't know sometimes whether I'm doing something good or bad based on the fact that all the feedback I get is in red. Red to me always says stop. So we're going to cancel that out. Another thing, explaining a little bit better as to how this would affect. Like it says no exonerations for war veterans, 360.5. I want to know what my overall impact is. So you can go to polling, right? Like I can say, we're going to put in the tobacco tax at 2%. Now I can poll and say, okay, I want to poll the people and I want to poll Parliament. Okay, so the people don't like it, but the government does. Now, the way I look at it is like, I should be able to then select it, and it should tell me of all the different groups who likes it and who doesn't. I mean, I can go here, right, and see all these different things. I can go to here and see all the different associations and how they feel about me, right? I should be able to look at everything overall and be like, okay, cool, this is what's going on. Like here I can tell my expenditures are in the green. Why? Because they're above, oh, sorry, they're below my revenue. Or, sorry, they're below my revenue. So my revenue is $694 billion, but I'm bringing in but I'm spending 672 billion. Mind you, that's apparently going down, but still in the green. So that tells me I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. I am making money to pay off my bills and my debts and things like that. That is cool and all. But at the same time, if I select, say, if I look at the budget and say, okay, well, hold on. Social Security and education are costing us the most amount of money. I need to figure out where I'm going to, you know, make my case. Like I can already see that I cut back 10. I'm gonna assume this is $10 million in spending. Actually, 13 million in, or 13 billion in spending. Cool and all. At the same time, though, I'm looking at some of this stuff and going, okay, but how is that going to impact, unions? Like when I make a certain thing, I want to know how it's going to impact everybody, right? Like when you do the poll, is it cabinet? Wow, the game's getting really kind of leggy for some reason. No. Or is it just under head of state? Yeah. So I can look at how people are going to vote. I can look at groups and associations and how they like me and things like that. Like, why isn't this a thing that shows me, hey, if you put in the following law, the poll will say religious people will like you more, associations will like you more, athletes will like you more, clergy not so much, intellectuals will like you less, the military will like you more, the sex will like you more, the unions won't. Like, breaking down the actual impacts whenever you put a law or even look at putting in a law, seeing what it's going to do is going to be amazing. I also realized too that apparently I have negative 1,746 days until my re-election, so that's a thing. Apparently I'm past my election day. I think I have to call. Whoa, I have to call an election. So, yeah. But yeah, having more impact, more feedback on what I can do and how I do it, and how it's going to impact, would be so much more appreciated. Like if I go to transportation and I say, hey, I want to increase road maintenance to there. Okay, so I know this is going to cost me $949.8 million to increase road maintenance by 30%. Cool and all. But are there any groups or any associations that are going to really appreciate this? For example, cancel that obviously. If we go to associations, I thought there was drivers. Are the drivers going to like me more because I'm increasing the the maintenance that we're doing on roads and things like that? And then cool, okay. But then what if there's no. I'm gonna assume maybe these people are more environmentalists. I'm assuming because I'm just realizing that we have no environmentalist group. But yeah, like are certain unions and certain groups going to like something that I do, and I would prefer that feedback, including what other countries will think. Like if you have an ally, it should tell you whether your ally will like an idea or not like an idea. I would prefer that feedback, that sheer view of something where it's like I want to put in a tax. How are people going to relate to this tax, and how are they going to be, and who is going to like it, who's going to not like it, how much are they not going to like it versus how much are they going to are they going to be okay with a 1% tax but not a 2% tax? I would love that feedback, and I think that's one of the few things that's really holding me back from playing this a lot, is the fact that I have to sit there and contemplate and think about what might happen. Like, for example, this tobacco tax. It tells me people don't like it. Okay, well, why? Why wouldn't people like this? Like, if I look in my industry, for example, I don't think cigarettes are here. Yeah. So, oh, maybe it might be under agriculture or farming, maybe. Like tobacco is here. I'm assuming tobacco is then included in cigarettes. But here, I mean, yeah, we're producing 0.5% of the world's tobacco. We're consuming 1.4% of the world's tobacco. We have a $100 million trade deficit when it comes to tobacco. Like, we make almost $500 million, $400 million in sales in tobacco. Cool. We make $109 million profit in tobacco. The overall productivity is 1%, and the overall tax we make is 0.034% in tobacco. Like, and that's the tax we make off of people that work in the industry. How many people work in the industry? Well, just shy of 2,000 people. So the tobacco industry for us is like, it's nothing. The purchase price for tobacco is $5 million or 5,000 per ton, and the sale price is 6,000 per ton. So in the end, we're really not really doing any craziness. We have 100% supply. We're perfectly fine with it. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I impose that tax, how is that going to affect this spot, right? So I would like to see some feedback on this screen, or even the other screen telling me this screen, saying, hey, you're making this sales price higher, but employment is going to go down. So people aren't going to be happy because they're losing their jobs because they're going to be taxed more. Or, our profits here are going to go down. Or the sales here will go up. Or even our overall consumption will go down and we'll be over importing. Like, more feedback. I would love more feedback into actions that I do. Like, I know up here it's saying, oh, well, 2.77 billion. Cool and all. I'm making 2.77 billion in agriculture. Cool. I don't know what that means. Like, if I click here, it doesn't break it all down for me. That's the other thing too. I want to know, for example, and I wish there was a way for me to see this where I could see which sectors I'm actually making money on. If I go to sector info, it just tells me sugar. This is what it needs. It's like, well, if I went to sector like world info, it just tells me everything for that specific thing. Agriculture, same thing. Like, I wish, actually, if I go to all activities, yeah, see, all activities, it won't give me really the information I need. Like right here, it says, okay, so our overall trade balance is negative $83.57 billion. That's B. Okay. Well, our trade deficit is smaller than the year before. Cool and all. Overall sales are 150 billion. We're making 50 billion, which doesn't make sense because if we're making, we're actually making the tax off of this, right? We're not actually making the money. But we have 364,000 people working in farming. Cool and all. Amazing. But what I want to know is, okay, well, with the trade balance, who am I losing money to? Which ones am I, where am I losing money? I should be able to click here and it should be able to break down all my things for me on one basically sheet. Instead of giving me all the countries, give me the ability to just look up mine. What industries are making me money? Which ones are making me lose money? And having the ability to be like, I want better stuff. I want better information. Like, yeah, a lot of this is good. A lot of this is fine. But at the same time, I want to know, like, what apples right now. If I wanted to look up apples, and see if I'm making money on apples, I actually have to select apples and look. And right now, I'm losing $40 million a year in apples because I'm importing apples. If I just produce them, I'd be exporting them and making money. Okay, cool. Well, what about cannabis? Legal in Canada, look at that. We make up 8% of the cannabis production around the world. Cool and all, right? Amazing. At the same time, it's like, well, that would be interesting to know that if I was looking up all my activities, which one was making me money. Like, it doesn't, over here, it shows me what the budgets are. Cool and all. But what I would like to know is what makes me money and what doesn't. It's like, okay, this is cool, but if this, just even like a pie chart as to what industries were making me money versus not, and which ones were costing me money. A good, give and take ratio there. That would be amazing. Okay, that's enough of a rant for today. This is obviously this the Pound Revolution video. But yeah, so if Sim ever watches this video, I hope you take this information. I mean, you can take it as a grain of salt. But more info. Telling me what my actions are going to do would be great. Like just feedback in an action, or being able to look over your industry / farming in an overall broad scale. Like, even if it's just an extra tab. I don't know how hard that would be. I don't do anything, but just if it's an extra tab here, and it just, I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it. And it would just basically break down everything. Like, and you could just scroll down. It would say, apples. And whether they're costing us money or not. And it basically break down our apple numbers. Like, are we making money on apples? Yes or no. Have it in red or have it in black, or in this case, white. If it's in white, good, I can ignore it. If it's in red, I can pay attention to that industry or that farming thing and specifically go after that thing. Or even if it's something that I know people like and I want to kind of make people a little happier, I can impose a price reduction. And, I actually have to, I'd actually have to take control of all that. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, like if I I also would like to see how much money I've spent on subsidizing as well. Okay, I'm going to stop my rant today. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.